It was once a place filled with laughter. Now it's completely silent. Swings that once carried smiling children now creak without wind. Locals say they hear voices at night, but no one's there. What happened at Lake Shawnee Amusement Park that turned joy into fear? And why do some believe the land itself is cursed? This isn't just another abandoned place, it's a forgotten graveyard of happiness. And what's buried here refuses to stay silent. If you enjoy true haunted stories and real abandoned places, don't forget to subscribe for more chilling tales every week. 1. The Kreischer Mansion. In Staten Island, New York, there stands an old wooden mansion. At first glance, it looks like something straight out of a horror film. This is Kreischer Mansion, built in the 1882nd by German businessman Balthasar Kreischer for his son. It started out as just a family home, but over time, it became a place full of secrets that can chill your bones. In 2005, something happened inside this house that changed everything. The mansion's caretaker, Joseph Joe Black, young, wasn't just a regular worker, he was actually a mafia hitman working for the Bonanno crime family. One day, Joe was ordered to kill someone. He invited the man to the mansion, and once inside, he beat him, stabbed him, and finally burned his body in the basement furnace. When I read this for the first time, I actually felt a chill. Imagine this, a body being burned in the basement of a house. Would you ever dare to walk inside such a place? Personally, I don't think I could ever go near that mansion. After the murder, police caught Joe Black, but the damage was done. The mansion became famous across the country not for its design, but for its dark past. Paranormal investigators began visiting. Some said they heard footsteps in empty rooms. Others claimed they heard crying sounds in the basement. Today, Kreischer Mansion still stands alone, silent, and mostly abandoned. People living nearby avoid going close, especially after sunset. Some even say the house feels heavy, like it's still carrying the weight of what happened there. So the real question is this just a house with a bloody past? Or is something still trapped inside its walls, refusing to leave? 2. Lemp Mansion. In a small village in West Virginia, there is an old house made of dark brown bricks. People around the area simply call it the Mine House, because years ago, it was built to house coal miners and their families. The scariest story about this house started in 1975, when a young girl named Emily Denver moved in with her family. Within just a few weeks, Emily began to feel something strange and dangerous inside the house. Footsteps late at night, doors opening by themselves, and soft whispers that only she could hear. One night, Emily screamed and called for her mother. She was crying, saying, "Someone is breathing behind the walls." After that night, the entire family couldn't sleep in peace. Within days, they packed their bags and left the house forever. When I first read this story, the first thought that came to my mind was, if your daughter says she doesn't feel safe in her own home, could you sleep there even for one night? To be honest, I believe that when silence itself starts to feel loud, that place is no longer normal. The house was locked up after they left, but the past didn't stay silent. Paranormal teams later reported feeling a heavy presence inside, as if someone was always watching them. Even today, locals avoid the house completely. Some even swear they can hear crying sounds from the house after dark. The truth is, in places like these, fear doesn't always come from what moves. Sometimes, it comes from the memories hiding in the walls. 3. The Whaley House. In the remote snowy mountains of Alaska stands a forgotten place, the Kennecott Copper Camp. Once, this town was filled with life. Built in the early 1902, it served as the heart of one of America's richest copper mines. Hundreds of workers lived here with their families. Children played in the narrow pathways. The sound of machines echoed across the valley. It was a place of hard work, dreams, and community. But in 1938, everything changed. The copper mine was suddenly shut down. There was no warning, no slow decline, just silence. The people packed up quickly and walked away, leaving behind not just homes and furniture, but memories, routines, and the very life they had built. They only took what they could carry. And sometimes, I wonder if they took their bodies with them. Could it be that their spirits stayed behind? Today, the town still stands, but time has stopped moving. The old wooden buildings are slowly decaying, but they remain upright, as if waiting for someone to return. Inside the structures, old mining equipment still sits in place, untouched. It looks like the workers just stepped out for a short break and never came back. It's haunting how still and preserved everything is, like time itself is holding its breath. People who visit Kennecott now often say the place doesn't feel empty. Some claim they feel like someone is watching them from the windows. Others hear faint breathing or whispers inside the buildings, even when no one else is around. A few have even said they've seen ghostly faces in the glass, staring out silently and disappearing the moment they blink. What's most chilling is not what you can see, it's what's hidden in the quiet. The fear lies in the things you don't see, in the memories frozen beneath the snow, in the energy that refuses to fade. When you walk through this silent place, one question slowly creeps into your mind. Is this town truly abandoned or just waiting? 4. The Villisca Axe Murder House. Hidden deep in the thick forests of Ohio, there once was a peaceful little village called Boston Township. It was quiet and charming, surrounded by trees, with narrow streets, old wooden houses, and a small white church at its center. For years, life moved slowly here. Families built their homes. Children played on front porches. It was the kind of place where everyone knew each other. But everything changed in 1974. The US government suddenly announced that they were taking over the land. They said it was to create a new national park. But people were confused. No real explanation was given. Homes were bought out quickly. Families were forced to leave almost overnight. They had no choice. They packed up and walked away from the lives they had built. They left behind not just houses, but memories. Photographs still hanging on walls. Furniture still in place. It was like the soul of the town had been ripped out in silence. To this day, no one really knows the full truth. Some believe the land had been poisoned by a chemical plant accident, and the government wanted to cover it up. Others say strange experiments were being done nearby. And then, there are those who whisper that something darker was happening, rumors of cults, strange rituals, and ghostly sightings in the woods. Today, the town is mostly abandoned. The roads are cracked. The church is boarded up. There's an eerie stillness, like the place is frozen in time, holding its breath. Visitors say they feel watched. Some claim to have seen shadowy figures in black robes disappear into the forest. Others say they heard their own names whispered, even though no one else was there. And that's what makes Helltown terrifying. It's not just what you see, it's what's hiding behind the silence. It's the secrets buried under the trees, the stories no one wants to tell, the kind of fear that doesn't scream, it just waits. So when you walk through Helltown's empty roads, one thought keeps echoing in your mind. Did everyone really leave? Or is someone still watching us? 5. The LaLaurie Mansion. In the quiet, wooded hills of West Virginia lies the broken skeleton of a forgotten amusement park. Rusty swings creak in the wind. The once clear lake now lies still. There are no children's voices, no lights, no music, only silence. But many years ago, this place was filled with joy. Built in the 1922nd, Lake Shawnee Amusement Park was designed to bring happiness to local families. It had a small swimming pool, a handful of rides, and a large circular swing. On weekends, the sound of laughter echoed through the trees. It was a place of celebration, birthdays, family picnics, warm summer afternoons. Then the joy turned into tragedy. Within a few short years, multiple fatal accidents happened inside the park. One young girl was killed on the swings when a truck accidentally struck the ride. Another child drowned in the swimming pool. And then, more deaths followed. It began to feel like the park itself didn't want happiness anymore, as if it had become cursed. By 1966, the park was shut down permanently. Locals believed the land was haunted, or worse, that something evil was buried beneath it. Then came the shocking discovery. Years later, archaeologists uncovered that this land had once been a Native American burial ground. Bones of children and tribal members were found buried just beneath the surface. It was a place of deep history, of loss, and of unhealed pain. People now say Lake Shawnee is more than abandoned, it's haunted by memory. Some claim to hear children laughing when no one is around. Others say they've seen the swings move on their own, slowly swaying, even when the air is perfectly still. What's terrifying is not what's visible, but the heavy feeling that something old, something angry, still lingers here. And you can't help but wonder, when joy is stolen from a place, can it ever return? Or does the land remember the sorrow forever?